Thank you for agreeing to this interview, Mr. White. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. I was born in 1946, the second of 9 children. I was raised by working-class parents in a Roman Catholic household right here in San Francisco. I was valedictorian of my class in high school. I enlisted in the Army in 1965 and served in the Vietnam War before being honorably discharged in 1972. I worked as a police officer for many years. Then, I joined the San Francisco Fire Department. In 1977, I was elected to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. That's pretty much my life story.
That's a pretty impressive list of careers. Let's talk about your job on the Board of Supervisors. Your district was described as being a majority white, middle-class and anti-gay district. Is that a fair description?
Well, I mean everybody has their opinions and holds their own values. I have been very religious all my life, and a lot of religions believe that homosexuality is a sin. I am a strong advocate for family values. I won the election because I am a defender of the home, family and religion. I speak out against homosexuality and drugs.
Let's switch gears a little and talk about Harvey Milk. Why did you persuade Dianne Feinstein to appoint Milk chairman of the Streets and Transportation Committee?
We worked well together.
And yet he was openly gay. You invited him to your child's baptism?
Yes. We were able to work through personal differences and agree on certain political beliefs.
So what happened?
The church proposed a rehab-type facility for juvenile offenders who had committed arson, rape, murder and other crimes to be put up in my district. Milk supported it and I didn't. After that, I began to disagree regularly with the board on issues.
Why did you resign from your position?
I saw corruption in inner-city San Francisco politics. I was unhappy with the decisions that were being made, and I was having a hard time supporting my family on my salary.
If all of these reasons were true, why did you try and reverse your resignation?
I realized I made a mistake.
And when Moscone refused to reinstate you, what happened?
I shot him.
Twice in the chest, and twice in the head. How did you manage to go past the metal detectors in City Hall?
I came in through the basement window.
After you shot Moscone, what did you do?
I went to Milk's office. I asked him if we could talk for a minute. Then, I shot him.
How many times?
5 times.
Then what did you do?
I turned myself in. I went to the police station and confessed. I told them. I shot him.
There are rumors that your former colleagues at the police department, police officers, applauded and cheered for you when you walked in the jail. This seems unbelievable and very disturbing.
Like we already discussed before, it was a very anti-gay district. A lot of people were unhappy that Milk achieved such an important position while being openly gay.
And you? What are your feelings on that?
I don't know.
Your trial has become famous because of what your lawyers argued for your defense. What are your feelings on this?
Well, I mean, they argued the truth. So I agree with it 100%.
At your trial, your lawyers argued that the killings of Moscone and Milk were not premeditated. Yet, you walked into City Hall with a gun. If you weren't planning on killing anyone, why did you have a gun with you?
I always carried a gun with me. Like I said before, I used to be a police officer. It was like second nature to me to carry a gun.
A police officer friend of yours said this at your trial in his testimony.
Yes. It's the truth.
Your lawyers argued that you had become depressed. Tell me about your depression.
It had been going on a while. I missed my job. I wanted it back. I was unhappy.
Lots of people suffer from depression. What made you different from all of them? Why did you turn to violence?
It was the sugar. I ate a lot of junk food. A lot of sugar. Coke, donuts, Twinkies. I am very health conscious. I was used to a very balanced diet. I wasn't used to all of that sugar.
So are you saying that the sugar made you kill Moscone and Milk?
Yes.
That's why they called it the Twinkie defense?
Yes. The sugar caused me to act completely out of character.
Do you really believe that eating sugar caused you to shoot 2 men?
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on to something else. Let's talk about the reaction of the jury during your trial. It was reported that members of the jury wept during the trial, saying you were a man who had been pushed beyond his endurance.
It's true. I was like a rubber band that was stretched so much it was about to snap. And it did snap. The pressure and stress contributed to my depression, and then the sugar took its toll on me. I didn't know what I was doing.
What was the verdict at the trial?
I was sentenced to 7 years in jail for voluntary manslaughter. I served 5 and got out early.
After killing 2 people in cold blood, firing a total of 9 shots, you were found guilty of voluntary manslaughter?
Yes.
How did the gay community react to the verdict?
They protested.
Yes. There was a massive protest. It is known as the White Night Riots. Do you have any guilt or remorse for these murders? After you were released from prison, did you return to your district?
I did. The new mayor issued a statement asking me not to come back, but I did anyway.
Let's talk about Frank Folsom, the homicide inspector at the San Francisco Police Department. He was there when you turned yourself in.
What about him?
After you were released from prison, in 1984, you met with him, am I correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
I told him that I had planned 2 other assassinations that day.
Let me get this straight. You told Frank Folsom that you had planned on killing Moscone, Milk and 2 other people on November 27, 1978.
I really lost it that day. I really lost it. I was on a mission. I wanted 4 of them.
So you had planned the murders. It was premeditated. That means everything you said at the trial was false.
I told him the truth. Carol Ruth Silver, she was the biggest snake of the bunch. And Willie Brown. He was masterminding the whole thing. He wrote the bill to legalize homosexuality in California.
Frank Folsom was quoted saying, "I felt like I had been hit by a sledgehammer. I found out it was a premeditated murder." Would you like to comment on that?
No.
Okay. Well, this concludes our interview. This has been very revealing. Thank you for your time, Mr. White.